Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Logix Insulated Concrete Forms Awards 2022. My name's Andy Lennox. I'm the president of Logix Brands, and we are presenting this awards presentation. Logix Brands is a consortium that develops and markets a range of engineered insulation products. And this is shows the locations of the members of the plants that are members of our consortium, and also in the lower corner, the various product lines that our consortium brings to market, of which Logix Insulated Concrete Forms is our flagship product line, and it's the product line that's the focus of these awards today. Um, you know, Building a home or a building, big or small, is a large, important, and often very personal project and investment that owners, designers, and builders get involved with. They devote their minds to it, and often their hearts and souls as well. And we at Logix Brands never fail to appreciate when we're chosen to play a part in making these dreams and aspirations come true for our customers. Um, this awards presentation is more of an intimate event than the other webcasts that we do. And it's always a pleasure for us to recognize the fine work that the homeowners and building owners and designers and builders who support our brands do in conjunction with our products. Our categories today are going to be five. We're going to recognize projects in five categories: small residential, large residential, commercial. We're going to focus on a unique special application. And we have a new recognition this year: systems built home, a Logix brand systems built home. And our theme this year, apart from the awards, is integration of our various Logix brands products to work together to create a superior envelope, but also integration with other excellent products out there as well. So let's get started. Our first category is actually one of my favorites. It's most outstanding small residential, where budgets are sometimes limited. The focus is on efficiency, and it's not blowing you away with a grand, huge project, but the focus is more on efficiency and the design that's perfect for the occupants themselves. And so today, I'm pleased to announce the first runner-up for small residential is the Viking Longhouse, which is located in Luther, Oklahoma. Logix territory manager supporting this project is Sam Johnson. Our local Logix dealer is Delisi, and the owner of this building and builder is Casey Murray. And so we congratulate everybody associated with this very cool and unique building. So let's get into it a little bit. This is a 2,300 square foot footprint, and this involves 1,700 square feet of Logix walls. And the Logix walls were actually built in a very quick 7-day period. The reason for I think Casey was originally looking at going wood, but with wood prices up as they were and are, Casey made the switch. He thought the time was right to look at ICF, which he'd heard of while in school. This design concept has roots in the ancient Viking Longhouse, and it actually creates an ideal space for passive cooling and heating techniques. In the good old days, they used stone to create the walls and wood framing for the roof, and now Casey's using Logix ICF. So in creating this A-frame, Casey used the same concept. The A-frame roof itself spans 38 feet, but the walls overhang 9 feet. The roof overhangs 9 feet on each side, and that's going to provide space for covered porches and greenhouses, which is a really cool part of this whole project. You can see it starting to take shape here. The rectangle slab is oriented east to west and measures 20 foot wide by 80 foot deep. And the wood frame gable roof is placed with 2 inches of and insulated with 2 inches of closed cell spray foam insulation, topped off with an ag panel metal roof. The downstairs is going to feature a garage, a utility room, restroom, living room, and kitchen, which is going to be open to the second floor with a big ass ceiling fan filling the space. The second floor is going to be supported by 2 by 12-inch ledgers and anchor bolts. And then the eye joists are going to span between the two 12-inch ledgers, as you can see here. And that's how the floor is being supported. The north-south facing windows um, allow for passive cooling and natural ventilation. Each bedroom is going to have a facing operable skylight to allow for stack effect natural ventilation. In the kitchen, there's a wood stove for heating the entire house, and the stovepipe spans the entire height of the open space. The Logix blocks were finished with a stucco in the interior and exterior, essentially creating an EFA system inside and out. And the Logix blocks help create the thermal mass in ICF, help create this passive home. If it all goes according to plan, Casey doesn't think he's going to have any heating or cooling costs besides the wood heat. And the fans in each bedroom have a large custom wood vent above each fan, creating passive air ventilation. Here's a look of it in the evening. It integrates a functional greenhouse within the home where the garden is in the pantry and it's considered just a utility, just an electricity and water are. It's a fantastic and a very cool design. It's something we can all learn from. And congratulations again, Casey with Sam and Delisi for the Viking Longhouse. All right, so that brings us to our winner in the most outstanding small residential category. And the winner is the Conservative Contemporary Home. And this is located in Creston, British Columbia, Canada. Jeff Nipper, Logix Territory Manager, providing the support. True Build Contractors are the builders of this great smaller residential home. That's small. It's 2,389 square feet of floor space, and it involved 2,757 square feet of Logix walls built in a 12-day period. The single-story home features what True Build calls a conservative contemporary design, utilizing a blend of hip and varied single-pitch roof sections, which you can see here. True Build is always focused on high-performance homes, and it always had been using Logix ICF for a number of years for its foundations. But with the wood prices up, and you keep hearing that, with the wood prices up, they went with ICF to the roof with this new home aiming for what's called Step 5 compliance. Now, in British Columbia, Step 5 is the highest level of the new building codes being introduced in British Columbia. And in Canada, those codes in British Columbia have influenced the National Building Code. And the National Building Code of Canada has just introduced its own set of tiered codes that are going to influence construction in the country of Canada for the next 20, 30 years. If you want to learn more about it, visit the blog that we have on buildwithhalo.com, one of our product websites, where we get into the 5 tiers of the National Building Code in Canada. Essentially, the tiers right here, tier 5 is the highest tier you can do, and it's very similar to the tier that True Build hit with this home, which is a 40% improvement to the envelope and using 30% of homes of the house energy target. So basically a 70% less energy than the model home. It's a fantastic achievement. So but this home was actually the first Step 5 home in Creston. So the way they did it in this case is they incorporated 8-inch. I know the picture's off to the side a bit, but it's an 8-inch Logix ICF walls. Now they also inserted 2 inches of graphite polystyrene foam core. And this brought, so they beefed up the insulation of the Logix wall to help hit that stage 5 or step 5. And so it just added more insulation power, and actually reduced the amount of concrete that you have to use, because it reduced the core back down to a 6-inch core for concrete. This home, part of this whole achieving these standards is to get a great air tightness score. And this home scored an awesome 0.45 air changes per hour, which is quite fantastic. If you want to learn about tips for enhancing like Logix ICF is a great way to build an efficient home, but there's things that you can do to add even more additional efficiency. This is what TrueBuild did here, and in this case, we've got an infographic that talks about all the various ways that you can add performance to your Logix home. This is available on logixicf.com. So another thing they did to increase efficiency is to, instead of using traditional rebar, they used Helix for the concrete core. And so this saved time and saved labor on the job site as well. Now, Logix ICF was used for all the 9-foot sections. There was a vaulted section, taller wall section, that they decided to go with 6-inch LVL studs. And you can see that here. Now, you could have built that with Logix ICF. In fact, a lot of builders, probably most builders probably would do, using probably our 8-inch core. But this was brought up to Logix thermal efficiency. They brought it up to approximately an R37 using R22 Rockwool and applied 3 inches of Halo Intera to the interior. Here's a picture of the Halo Intera, and that's one of our products as well. And you can see the Intera being used to beef up the inside. The appropriate windowed elevations incorporated into the vaulted ceiling. There's a focus on maximizing the exceptional views of Creston Valley. It's just a gorgeous home. And you know, for a small home, a section of the footprint is actually dedicated to a fully featured in-law suite, which is quite unusual. If there's a total of 3 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, 3 baths. The master ensuite features heated floors and a tile shower. It's just a wonderful home. It's going to cost an average of about $200 a month to heat and cool. And every new customer that TrueBuild Contractors Courts is sent to this home as an example of the way they intend to build going forward. So congratulations to everybody involved with this home. Jeff Nipper, TrueBuild, the conservative contemporary home, our winner, small residential this year. All right, on to large residential. The first runner-up in large residential, which is always a kind of a very interesting category, and it is the oceanfront home in Plymouth, Massachusetts. 3,309 square feet of living space, 4,000 square feet of Logix wall. I mean, this home is very much influenced by its coastal location. It was the organizing principle for almost all the design and construction decisions made into the home. They wanted to have an open concept home properly positioned on the lot to capture the ocean views, but because it's an oceanfront property, had to be built to withstand strong winds, salt air, moisture, had to be a resilient home. Logix ICF is obviously very, very well known for its resiliency. You can get content on the Logix. If you're interested in learning more about Logix ICF and how it's a resilient construction method, visit our website. We've got entire sections dedicated to it. We've got how-to and once again further infographics dedicated to this whole topic. This project used 8-inch Logix ICF in the garage and foundation portion, and then they transitioned to a 6-inch ICF for the remainder of the walls. That's quite a common way to build. Significant open interior space was completed with large floor spans that eliminated the need for supporting beams and posts, having high ceilings on all levels, just made for a nice, airy, open concept. So they've accomplished in a series of steps, durability, comfort, energy efficiency, and soundproofing all in one. Now, if you take a look at the basement as the basement's being built, you can see the basement being built, and then it looks like a concrete floor in the main floor being laid down. And you can also see in the basement here, the foundation, this is heat sheet. So they've got radiant floor heating in the basement slab, and they're using heat sheet, which is yet another one of our products, to place the PEX tubing. Now If you want to learn more about HeatSheet, visit heatsheet.com. It's commonly used on many of our projects that incorporate radiant floor heat. Now you're going to see our product come here with a gray color, and you don't often see this. And what the builders do is they covered it with a latex primer to protect against the UV. And I don't know if we can necessarily recommend that, but that is what the builders and developer chose in this case to do. So it's we pointed out. It seems to work very much for them. There's some of the slab work being done outside. This is going to be all electric setup for appliances, heating and cooling, hybrid water heaters, and can allow this building to go off grid with solar panels. You can see in the window openings the ProBuck being used, Logix ProBuck being used to line the buck out the windows. And there's a bit more information about ProBuck. And I think more and more of it's being used. It's just a great way to finish off the ICF walls, is to use ProBuck for the openings. We did some thermal testing and we saw, and as it turns out, when you use ProBuck, the temperature of the buck is identical to the temperature of the ICF wall, so it just completes the thermal envelope. So we should congratulate the builders and everybody involved with the oceanfront home. I think I was remiss right off the bat with not announcing the people involved with this fantastic project, and I'm sorry for that. But we're going to recognize Win Peck, territory manager for Logix ICF, who provided the support for this. But most of all, we want to honor Blue Green Building Concepts, who is the developer and owner of this absolutely wonderful Logix ICF award-winning project this year. We will say in one final thing, this home is the first off-grid home in the South Shore of Massachusetts, and it's received recognition from Gibson Sotheby's. So a wonderful, wonderful achievement. Okay, on to the next project in this category, most outstanding large residential, the outright winner. The outright winner is the Urban Dream Home. The Urban Dream Home was supported by AMC Foam, the local Logix manufacturer, and Paragon Design Build, who is the designer, builder, and actually the owner of Paragon Design Build, I believe, is the owner of this home. This home is located in the historic Assiniboine area of Winnipeg on iconic Wellington Street. It's 6,400 square feet of exquisite living space plus 2,400 square feet livable ICF basement. It involves 6,700 square feet of Logix wall built in 45 days. Paragon decided to use Logix based on expected comfort, quality of construction, and the performance of the home. Last year, Paragon was honored in the multifamily category with their outstanding 30 UC 7-story apartment building, and I think that their very positive experience with Logix ICF in that application influenced their decision to use ICF for this application. There you can see an interesting drone shot of some early construction. This is a 8-inch basement, 8-inch core basement, Logix ICF, and it's supporting 2 stories of actually 4-inch exterior Logix ICF walls. Bit of an unusual configuration. And here you can see the 8-inch core of the basement and the basement taking shape, and then you can see the 4-inch walls. The 4-inch walls starting to be erected above grade. This was a winter build, infill lot with lots of mature trees. It involved the 1950s wood frame bungalow teardown. It's a 2-story build that was noted by many Winnipeg business and homeowners, generating plans for very similar new builds. The house was designed to match a very timeless and iconic design of the stately surrounding manors. This is very central, iconic Winnipeg construction. The front Tyndall stone is fashioned after Winnipeg stone cathedrals dating back to 1880. There you see it taking shape. You can see the 4-inch core. Now there's the 4-inch core there. It's the thinnest core that we offer. It's not the most common use of, for an ICF product above grade. 4 inches, I guess most of our walls would be built with the 6¼ inch core, but the 4-inch core is a very strong block. It conserves the concrete, and it can be used. It's used as part of building code, the 4-inch concrete core in the United States. Up in Canada, it requires some site-specific engineering, but it certainly will reduce your concrete costs and can also increase your livable space inside by creating exterior walls that are a bit thinner. You're also going to see some of the gray block here. Now, the gray block is actually, in this case, not latex primer. This gray block is actually deliberate. This is Logix Platinum Series block. It's a line of product that's made with a gray bead, gray neopore, graphite enhanced EPS bead, which you see here. And it just allows you to deliver a wall with increased R value without increasing R thickness. Typical Logix ICF wall assembly will provide roughly an R25 of a typical wall assembly overall R value. With Platinum Series, that gets boosted to R28 without increasing any thickness. This house has been featured in a variety of masonry magazines. It's become an iconic architectural piece. People stop to take photos, and so we're going to congratulate the winners again, AMC Foam and Paradigm Design Build. Congratulations on a fantastic build. On we are now to commercial. And our most outstanding commercial, well, let's take a step back here. We've got a couple of different commercial buildings we're going to be profiling. And you know what? They're each going to look at the advantages of building with Logix ICF in different seasons. So these are two builders constructing in two different seasons, gaining benefit from constructing with ICF. So our first project we want to recognize is the first runner-up in this category. It's a classy chassis. The Logix territory manager, Mark Gifford, carries lumber and building supply, the local Logix dealer providing the product and the support, and Clifton Land Company, the builder of this fantastic light commercial building. This building is a car wash facility built in Williamsville, New York. It's 4,500 square foot footprint, and it involves 4,000 square feet of Logix wall. It was built in 12 days, the Logix portion, at a labor rate of 0.08 man hours per square foot, and that's a very efficient labor rate. So Clifton obviously knew their way around this. They've been building car washes with Logix foundations for years, but now with this project started using Logix for more complex commercial construction. So this was a winter build. Okay, so this now we can actually talk a little bit about how Logix helped Clifton maximize efficiency through a cold New York winter. Speed of construction was a paramount factor here because it allowed Logix allowed the builder to construct the facility during winter months, allowing the car wash to open at their close to their target date in the spring. So getting the incoming revenues earlier. And plus, with the COVID-19 shutdowns and the extended lead time on lots of materials, it placed even more emphasis for Clifton on the need for a product that was quick and easy to construct. That being said, they hit rock at shallow depth during excavation. Footer had to be pinned with stone with deeply bored holes, accepting 8 and 6 rebar. It was a fairly complicated build. If you look at the massive they're pretty big windows. And lack of interior walls for structural support. There's 14-foot high tall walls that had to be braced and engineered to comply with state and local building codes. Had to support the walls and the ceilings. So they had to custom fabricate anchors and sheath trusses into the Logix wall system. Had to make sure that the tall walls, 14-foot tall walls, met all the wind loads with all the custom I-beam and truss mounting plates that were required. But the solid Logix interior walls are a perfect substrate for Clifton to attach the FRP panels, which they needed to do for the just the nature of this car wash. So that's fantastic. Then when you look at the exterior, the carrying of stone over the doors and archways, they use rolled stainless steel arches to support the concrete and stone. And around the windows and openings, they actually cut back the foam, the ICF foam, to allow for full depth concrete. Here's some of the detailing that you can see, and it's just a wonderfully detailed building. The R value delivered by the Logix wall system is critical in helping maintain a comfortable work environment for Class C chassis employees throughout the year. And the added benefit actually is during the winter construction, it made for a very comfortable environment for the construction crew during the winter. So for saving substantial money in construction costs and making an immediate impact on reduction in energy consumption, and for simply transforming a site that was transformed from a rundown abandoned gas station to a beautiful quality design construction facility. We want to recognize Mark Gifford, Carey's Lumber, Clifton Land Company for Class C chassis. First runner-up, most outstanding commercial. All right, let's flip the coin. Let's go to most outstanding commercial. Our winner, this is Landings Point Industrial Park. Supporting Territory Manager, Jeff Nipper, supplying Logix dealer, Utah ICF, and you can't mention Utah ICF without mentioning Dan McCullough, who that's his company, and Dan's been a Logix ICF and ICF in general advocate for years, and they provided the support to Done Right Construction for this very impressive facility. This is located in West Jordan, Utah. It's a 17,280 square foot footprint. It involved 13,728 square foot of Logix wall built in a 12-week window. A man-hour rate of 0.0625 man-hours per square foot for tall walls. That's just fantastic speed of construction. And you know what? If Class C chassis focused on the benefits of building with ICF in the cold winter, this project can talk about building with ICF in a hot summer. This is the third of 3 similar buildings in this industrial park. And done right, it was a tough year in general for supply chain and many things. The footing contractor was delayed. As a result, Done Right lost the ICF erection crew who were originally scheduled. So now they're thinking, what do we do? What do we do? Do we try to hire another crew, but everyone's booked up? Do we convert this to a steel frame to get someone else to build it, or do we do it ourselves? And so the people at Done Right, they worked with Dan McCullough at Utah ICF, and they decided, let's train us, support us, and let us self-build. And this project was actually built by a 3-man crew, a father with 2 sons, and it was just out of circumstance. Working together with Dan McCullough, they were able to pre-order and order material on site, avoiding additional lost time and risk to the construction projects, which was just happening all over the place last year. Pre-planning and proper housekeeping at the job site allowed our construction crew to keep material properly stored, says Done Right. This is a summer build in Utah, 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside temperatures, no air conditioning indoors. The building remained cool. It was sheltered by the Logix ICF walls and the EPDM roof with R38 rated insulation. You can see how some of the Logix block got a bit discolored due to UV exposure. That can happen. It does not affect If it's in my, if it's not extensive and this is just surface discoloration, it doesn't affect the performance of the block. Sometimes that can happen when there's extensive UV supply, UV exposure. The previous three buildings in this area were steel, and the steel building design had a certain energy consumption. And this building signed up for an energy consumption program that was based on the energy usage of the other three similar buildings in the development. And as it turns out, this building used, I believe it was about 1/3 the energy, less than 1/3 of the other building's power. So they were actually Dunright was fortunate to escape this contract that they got involved with using an energy efficiency initiative program that was approved. So that's fantastic. This was Dunright's first time building an ICF project. It was successful. It was self-performed. It was efficient. It was done on time. And they've taken this experience and shown high school and college classes the benefits of this type of sustainable and ease of construction method. They faced all sorts of challenges with COVID-19, material availability, inflating costs, but you know what? They got through and were ultimately successful. And so we want to recognize again Landings Point Industrial Park, Jeff Nipper, Utah ICF, Dunright Construction. All right, let's get into most outstanding special application. And our winner here, and the project we're going to recognize here is, I'm going to bring up a pretty familiar name. It's Jeff Nipper, supporting Logix Territory Manager, Utah ICF, Dan McCullough. Spa, let's call this project the Spa with the View. And this is the Spa with the View. This is one of the, there's a lot of popularity right now with Logix, with ICF pools in general. But there's none more beautiful and more intricate than this hot tub spa built by Dan a couple of years ago. Here's a couple of pictures of Dan and his crew. And as you can see, that's one complicated build. If you want to learn more about pool construction with ICF, Logix is just, Logix ICF, we've just published a pool installation guide. And you see the cover there. And we've also come out with engineering, the design guide. That's the booklet on the right. And that's the swimming pool design guide. So that's for the engineering of the pool walls. Now that's for the USA only. We're working on our Canadian design principles right now. If you want to download those, they're on our technical library. If you want to learn more about how to build and design pools with ICF. Here's some of the details from Dan's project. You can see how they thought through the configuration here and the construction of the pool. You can see how they thought through the various detailing. So there's a lot of thought going into it and how everything properly works and integrates together. There's a look at the wall system and the inside coatings and how the coatings were applied. And you can't look at this project without going right back to that view. And here's another shot. And so listen, pools are a big deal with ICF now. As usual, Dan was on the cutting edge of this a couple of years ago, pioneering it. So a shout out to Dan, Utah ICF, for another exceptional achievement in ICF construction. And the final project that we're going to talk about today, and it's kind of a new category, because up to now we've really focused on insulated concrete forms, Logix ICF, but we want to talk about recognizing construction using a variety of our products as a system. Where we started with ICF, but we've added complementary products into the Logix brand's system of products. It's none better illustrated than this diagram here. You can see this diagram on logixbrands.com, but it shows how our products fit together. I mean, you can use Logix ICF, of course, above grade, and it's often used above grade, but here we're using it, showing it used in the below grade application, but in combination with Halo, Heat Sheet, Chrome GPS, our other products, all to create a fantastic building envelope. And in this spirit, we want to recognize the Sustainable Home in Tuelon, Manitoba, supported by AMC Foam and built and designed by Hollyhock Construction. So this home, is 2,925 square feet, including garage and patio. And, it was designed to be very accessible. The clients had a very specific need here. They wanted simplicity in all parts of the home, total accessibility to garage, patio, sidewalks, dining area, and living area, and requiring the non-living areas and the garage to be as comfortable as the home. So it's a tall order. The challenge was to provide structure and comfort in these two separate areas of the home. So you can see that this is the Logix ICF being used in the grade beam to raise the level of the home. And as a side note, Sean Murphy, the owner of Hollyhock, used Helix reinforcement here for the reinforcement of the concrete. You can see it's starting to take shape. A Logix ICF portion. Then you can see heat sheet being used in the underslab insulation for the main floor slab. So it's radiant floor heat throughout. AMC's Styrobar, which is a flat stock insulation, was used in the garage to provide underslab insulation. So it's 3¼ inches thick heat sheet used in the underslab here. 3 inches of Styrobar used underslab in the under the garage, and of course our 8-inch Logix ICF blocks used in the foundation. There's R60 roof insulation, triple pane fiberglass windows. Then Sean framed above grade, and then you can see the Halo Xterra. We saw Halo Interra being used in the project in the conservative contemporary home in small residential. This is now Xterra being used on the exterior portion of the home. And this was 1.5 Xterra that Sean used on the exterior of the home. So this home it was tested for an interior test air tightness of 1.254 air changes per hour. It was rated for 76 gigajoules a year, which is 30% more energy efficient than comparable new homes. And it just showed how the entire suite of Logix brands products can be used together to create highly energy efficient, comfortable, and accessible areas, homes, and buildings. And so we finish off by saying thanks to Sean for this fantastic project, and thanks to AMC Foam for providing such great support. That is it, everybody. As winners and first runners-up at the Logix ICF Awards, all the winners will receive a wonderful wall plaque, which will be delivered in about a week or so. It's slightly delayed due to supply chain, which can happen these days, but you will get them next week. You'll also have footers that you can use in your email to recognize this achievement if you wish. And we'll also have a pamphlet of the award winners that you can download from the email that you're all going to receive tomorrow. So thank you very much, everybody, for attending the awards. It's our pleasure to recognize all these fantastic projects. Thanks, everybody, for considering us and for using our projects in your awards. And thank you for attending. And everybody, have a great weekend upcoming. So we'll see you next year at the 2023 Logix Awards.